Let's get into a little bit of shade. What up, my friends? You have reached Outta Toon Podcast. How you doing out there? Hey, have you missed me? I've missed myself. Just hang on, people. It's going to get better. This October's crazy. It's crazy. I knew it was going to be crazy, and it is crazy, but I haven't forgot about you. Every week, I mean, every day, I should say, I keep thinking I got to do a show, and it's not that easy right now. I'm trying to squeeze it in. I will say I think it might be getting easier. So I do think I'm not even going to say the hardest part's over. Not gonna. But yeah, the schedule is crazy, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. So how are you? How are you doing here in October? This is great. It's been so cold. I had to wear a jacket the last couple of days, and that's the kind of weather that I absolutely love. And this is my favorite month, and it goes by so fast. Last week I went to Pride Parade. That is my favorite event in Atlanta. And Sherry Brown and I went. It was first time she had gone, and we did a little photo safari. We took our cameras and took some pictures, and it was fun. But here's the thing about Atlanta Pride. Atlanta Pride is like the largest parade in the history of parades. It goes on forever. I don't know how long the parade lasts. I believe I might have stayed 1 year, but I can't do it. It's like I'm sure it would go on for 5 hours, if not more than that. So we stayed for a little over 2 hours, and then we were like, let's go. And I think the parade just started at 2 hours. But we got some good photos, and we saw a lot of good stuff. And yeah, it was fun. A little too hot. I think now it's good, though. Now it's getting good. So this weekend, maybe my second favorite Atlanta event, which is a big Halloween parade, and that's going to be fun. I've decided, you get to that point. I don't know when it happens. There are certain things you kind of stop. You observe the holidays, but you stop celebrating the holidays. Is that correct? I guess that's what I want to say. I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother would not put up a tree, and I just thought that was so weird. On Christmas, she was just like, I'm not doing a tree this year. I was like, what? How can that be? How could you have Christmas with no tree? That makes no sense. But she didn't want to mess with it, didn't want to fight with it. And now I'm kind of at that age where I understand it. I don't think I could yet not have a tree at Christmas, but I can understand just not wanting to mess with it. Especially her, she was by herself, and she just didn't want to. She just wanted the trouble of it. And I'm kind of the same way with, I guess 30s and 40s. You continue to dress up on Halloween, and maybe in your 50s on occasion, but there's no sense in dressing up. You start, like, I would wear my kilt a few times. It's not a costume, it's just, at least it's something. And now I don't even want to do that. I'll just show up and look at people in costumes. How about that? So that's kind of fun. So that's where I am, and it's there's some great costumes, but I do think I'm going to take my camera and get pictures, and that's how I'll celebrate. That's how I will celebrate Halloween this year, is just watch other people have fun. That's what you do when you get old, okay? That's what I'm doing as I'm old. Hey, Al Pacino says there's no afterlife. What? Yes, I think it was this week. He announced there's no afterlife. Al Pacino. Do we believe him? Do we know? Al Pacino says there's no after. So apparently he had one of those near-death experiences, and he said he didn't see any lights. Now, I don't trust those anyway. I never have. Why do people believe that that's the sign of an afterlife? You saw lights. How many people die that don't get to report? At least you came back, all right? You got to come back. There's a lot of people that don't get to come. What did they see? We don't know because they didn't come back. But Al Pacino says there's no afterlife. I know so many people who say that there is an afterlife because they saw lights. Is that the thing? Is it lights? I would think maybe smelling cake. That I would rather go with the smell rather than the lights. All right, maybe you can smell fried chicken and cake. I'd be okay with that. And it's the afterlife, so the chicken, it's not real chicken. I mean, it is real chicken, but no chickens had to die for it because it's the afterlife. They actually have the fried chicken gets formed as fried chicken, so no chickens had to die in the scenario. Or cake. No cakes died in the scenario either. I would be okay with that. Fried chicken and cake all through the afterlife. I don't know what beverage. What beverage? Maybe some coffee, beer. I'll take some beer and occasionally a scotch. I don't know. Is that hell? Well, am I in hell now? Fried chicken and scotch? No, that's heaven, people. Anyway, is afterlife. There's no afterlife, according to Al. I do believe my mother had a near-death experience, and she saw lights. So there is an afterlife. I don't know. What do? You just tabulate how many people saw lights, how many people didn't, and then that's the tell. What is that about? I'm not going to put any kind of stock of anything on what kind of dreams people have. It's okay. It's an incident. It's something to go, But I don't think I'm going to say that this is a fact just because you saw a vision. Look, if you put too much pressure on your eyes while you're laying down in the bed, you're going to see lights. All right. I used to do that when I was a kid. I'm paying for it now as a grown-up. My vision is going away. I'm sure it's because I pressed on my eyes. When I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to watch cartoons. And I would press on my... What kind of kid was I? Anyway, I don't know. Why should... What does that mean, there's no afterlife, Al? I have recently sort of had an intuition that... I can't use the word afterlife. There's no afterlife. It's just there's eternal life. Life doesn't stop, right? We tend to think, for some reason, I don't know why, we believe that we are a packet of life. That we have a life somehow stored inside of us, and it's an individual life. And when we die, that life goes poof, and it's gone. Where'd it go? I don't know. It doesn't keep going, according to Al Pacino. But Rick's mom says, yes, it does. I don't know. I just feel like, so my way of looking at things, I don't think there's individual life. There's not individual oxygen. You have some in your body for a while. You breathe it in. But it's not your oxygen. It's in the air. There's one whole big thing of oxygen that we all breathe, right? I have it a little bit. I blow it back out an orifice, and then you breathe it in. Depending on which orifice. Where are we going with this? We share it, and I tend to think it's the same way to an extent with life. Somehow we have in our head that we have our own. There's no evidence to prove that. No one's ever found any kind of outline of life that says this is yours, this is mine. No, it's one big thing. Life is life. The tree out there that has life, it's the same life in me, the same life in an ant, the same life in my ants. The same life in my aunt, a lot of my aunts are gone now. They don't have the life, but the life is still there when they didn't see the lights afterwards, so they're gone. But what happened to the life? It's still there. What we don't take with us is the ego. We don't have, so our bodies go back into the ground, correct? Yes, we've all seen it. Sometimes it's burned. And our mind, our thoughts, those come from, number one, learned things. Number two, just experiences that we put in, just thoughts that we have. A lot of times those aren't even real. We can believe we're a monkey. I don't know why I picked that. We might believe we're a monkey. We might believe we're a king. We might whatever. But just because we believe that doesn't make it true, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? The thoughts that we have might not be true. They might be an error. We might not be a monkey. We might not be a king. That doesn't survive. None of those thoughts survive. They're gone. Because they don't have any existence anyway. But the life does. It's the only thing that keeps going. You don't have access to it, but you also don't have access to that oxygen. But the oxygen didn't disappear. It's just going into other people's bodies now, right? That's how I see it. So there's no afterlife. There's just life. It just keeps going on. You don't get an afterlife. Because ego doesn't survive. No one's ego survives. That's the foundation of the teaching of Jesus in Christianity. And then most Christians formulated, I don't know if they did it themselves, but they formulated as part of the religion a way for your ego to survive. I'm going to go to heaven and spend my time with the angels and God and sit at the feet of Jesus. I will have a new body. Well, it's not you if you don't have the same body that you had here, right? It's not really you. And a lot of people don't really, some people don't want the body they had here. Some people's bodies are a pain in the ass. Can I say ass on my podcast now? I've been doing it long enough. I should be able to. See what I'm getting at? It's all warped, but and most of the time it's just done by observation. We make half this stuff up, and then we write it in a book and make a religion out of it, and people don't have to think about it. All they have to do is believe it. And there's no evidence to prove any of it. There's no evidence to there's no reason to think it's true. But we do. All right. I didn't mean to get off onto that, like right at the very, very beginning. But I did. I did do that. Okay. I'm putting all this stuff. I'm kind of like marking it off now. Okay. Today I voted. Have you voted? You got to get out and vote, people. Do it. I don't care how long it takes. It's important. Do it. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. You know who to vote for. Just do it. Just whatever. Just get out. Be a part of the process. And vote. I did that today. It didn't take that long. I voted early. I decided to get it over with quick, and I ended up voting with all the old people, and that makes sense because I'm kind of an old person now. I don't know when it happens when you actually become like really old. I don't know what the cutoff time is for like old, and just kind of. There's a point where you're just like, I'm not really old. These people are old, and then there's a point where you're like, oh no, I'm old. But it was amazing. A lot of people, and I'm not making fun of. Well, kind of am. I'm not making fun of the senior citizens really, because I'm one. I'm an early one. I'm a new one. I'm kind of just barely there. I want to think. But I watched a woman, and bless her. I never say bless anybody. I just did. I don't know why. She had to be 90. I'm going to say she was 90. Late 80s or 90. driving a car, and shouldn't be. She drove, there was like a little area that was kind of like a little circle. I guess it's to turn around in the parking lot. I don't know, but she drove against the arrows. She came in the wrong way, and then she went in, and I think she got about halfway in and realized, oh no, I'm going the wrong way. So she decided to back out of the way, and then backing out, she kept running over the curb and going over into the grass. And then she would go forward, and then she kept doing, and then she couldn't figure it out. So she finally just said, screw it, I'm going to keep going forward. And so she did, and she got all the way to right at the very beginning, and then stopped her car and got out and went inside to put her ballot inside. And in doing so, she blocked the entrance so no one else could go in. And I realized this person has a voice in voting. I'm not saying she shouldn't. We all should have a voice, but when you have that kind of lack of judgment, holy crap, I'm concerned. And I was kind of concerned about a lot of that, to be honest. I'm not saying they shouldn't have the right to vote out loud. I'm not saying it. I'm not. But it scared me. I was really kind of worried about it. Do you know that sometimes I think, what's wrong with this world? Do you feel like you're an alien in the world? Sometimes you don't belong in the world. You start looking. I think when you're a certain age, you start thinking, well, if I complain a lot more, maybe things will change. I think that's what happens. And then there comes a time sort of on the other side of that where you're just like, you know what? I just not going to say a word. I'm just going to shut up and let it happen. What can I do about it? That's the way the world is. And I sort of have to do that. But when you're in that section, you start realizing that, oh no, this world is just totally gone. What are the kids doing? How are they going to keep it going? What are they doing to this world? Is this the world they want? Okay, it's theirs. I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 20 years, I'm going to be gone. I hope it's longer, but it's theirs. I should just shut up, let them have it. I already had my world, right? Didn't I? I had like Michael Jackson, Madonna. That's what we had. We had that. We had Journey. These are the things we did with our world. These kids, I don't know what they're doing. But you got to let them do it. You just got to sit back, let them do it. But sometimes I do kind of think, what's happening with this is the podcast, people. If this is your first time, this is it. It's just me talking about stuff. I'm rambling. I've had some coffee. Oh yes, I have. And I just go off. Okay. So get used to it, or go to another podcast if you don't like it. Get off my podcast. All right. So, but no, I just think we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Why is the world like this? Why is it like this? And then I decide I'm going to scan the TV channel, the little guide thing. And I scan up and I'm like, what? This is what people are watching now. No wonder the world is screwed up. I'm paying cable for 1,000, I think it's 1,000 channels, maybe more, and there's nothing on. And what's on is just it's insane. We keep our TV on the ID channel, and I don't like murder. I'm not glorifying murder. I really enjoy the science. I really love the stories where it's like, this is how they solved this crime. This is how they solved this mystery. I'm a science nerd, and I enjoy that. But it's starting to get a little exploitive. They're really kind of, I don't know. They're making like special shows for certain murderers, like making a hero for these guys and girls, women, and sometimes I just feel like the crime itself is the star of the show and not the science. So when that happens, I'm not that into it. But I do keep my TV on that just because I feel it's kind of educational in a way. and then I go and look at what's on other channels, and I realize it's not so much educational. It's a haven to keep from watching the real housewives of whatever city is on now, where they're just going to sit and put each other down and create drama. And who needs that in their life? I have enough of the drama. I don't need housewives really kind of like going at each other. What do you? Are you watching it? Okay, I don't want to put you down if you are. I don't think I do, but I don't get it. I don't really totally understand it. So, I'm just okay. Hang on, people. I'm not mad about anything. These are just thoughts in my head today. I'm sharing them with you. I hope you don't mind. With my coffee. You know what I haven't shared in a while? We do have a listener line, 678-348-0008, where you can call and you could do what I'm doing right now, which is just basically venting. Aren't you glad you don't live in the house with me? It's a soft vent. I'm totally happy person. I just sometimes just notice things. I like to talk about them. But voting was good. Voting was fun. I did get my vote on today, and my duties are done. So now I can get really irritated at all the commercials because it doesn't affect me. Already done it. Other thing that I've been doing is getting ready to start the second week of storytelling. Even though last time on the podcast I talked about getting ready to do some storytelling, and that was fun. First week, a success. This week started. So, man, here's something. If you've never tried it before, tell the same story back to back over and over for 15 groups of people. Just do it. Try it. See what happens. What it does to your body, what it does to your mind, what it does to your voice is really interesting. Now, I was a theater major, did a lot of shows, had to do several shows, but I didn't do a lot of them over and over. And the most I would do would be 2 a day, I think. I don't think I ever did 3. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did. And even if I did, it's not 15. Tell the same story 15 times. The weird thing starts happening to your mind where we're like right in the middle of the story. You're like, did I already say that? Am I saying the same thing? Have I missed half of the story? Have I skipped like 5 minutes of the story already? And you have to kind of look at the people's face to see if they're like totally confused, at least more than normal, more than you people listening to me right now on the podcast. It's weird. It's a very strange situation, very strange feeling. And the first week, my voice it was shot. And then, or the first day, I should say. Second day wasn't bad at all. I don't know if it was just my throat was a little tight from nerves doing it. I did make some recordings and watch them and realized that I got a lot of work to do. I got to brush up on it. But anyways, done it. And it was fun. And if you get a chance, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're down here in Atlanta ways, come by and see storytelling event at Stone Mountain Park, a tour of Southern Ghosts, 2 shows this weekend, and then 2 shows next weekend. Fun for the whole family, and I'm very happy to be doing it. The Halloween parade this weekend, it's pretty wild. If you've never been, if you want to come to a cool event in the Atlanta way, I would suggest Pride first, but the Halloween thing second, and dress up and come down and bring some kind of protection, because it gets a little, and when I say that, I mean, like something in case you're accosted. Is that? Yeah. The area where it's family friendly. I don't want to say anything negative about it because I've been there many years. I've never been treated bad, never been hurt, but there's some crazy people there. That's part of the fun. You never know who the crazy people are because everybody's in costume. And but you get to see art. There's a lot of food, some music, live music. Parade is always fun. So if you get that chance, you should do it. Hey, I did something extremely immature this week. What? Yeah, I did. Can you believe it? I do not know what really caused it, but I just thought, how many people in this world are named Dick Wiener? Now, I don't know why I would think that, but it was a thought that came into my head. And then once it happens, you got to look it up. How many Dick Wieners? If you're a Dick Wiener out there, I'm not going to make fun of you. You believe me, you've had so much of that your whole life. So I decided to look it up. People, go ahead, do it. Google it, Dick Wiener. See how many, because guess what? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of Dick Wieners. If you're Mr. and Mrs. Wiener and you say, let's name him Dick, you might need someone to come and do some correction on you. Why would you do that? I know it's a family name, I guess. But there's here's the thing about Dick Wieners that I found. A lot of the Dick Wieners out there are doctors. So Dr. Dick Wiener, Doc Dick Wiener, Dick Wiener, PhD. So my theory is that to live with the name Dick Wiener, you really have to you have to succeed. you have to be better than the rest. You don't want to be Dick Wiener the loser. So you got to be at the top of your class, right? So I think the name Dick Wiener pushes you to succeed in this world. So that's a clue. There's no reason to name your child Dick Wiener unless you want them to succeed. If you want your child to succeed, name them Dick Wiener, because there's a lot of successful Dick Wieners out there. A lot of them are Richard Wiener. Now, here's the thing. My question, because I'm a Richard. I rarely use that name, but a lot of them are Richards. Now, why did they go with Dick? Especially if their last name is Wiener. Why would they not go with Rick Wiener? Rich Wiener? You could be a very rich wiener. But they went with Dick. They chose Dick. Just change your name? I don't know. I'm not trying to judge, because if that is your name, you're used to it. It doesn't have the same novelty humor that it does for other people, because you've heard it your whole life, right? So, but I'm curious about that, and I want to know. I'd like to see a study on how, what caused all of the Dr. Dick Wieners. What caused the Dick Wieners? I've said Dick and Wiener more time on this podcast today than I have the entire time on the show. I'm kind of proud of that. What caused Dick Wieners to be successful? And I would like to know that. If you are a Dick Wiener, maybe call the listener line 678-348-0008. Only if you're a Dick Wiener. Don't pretend you're a Dick Wiener. Don't be like a fake Dick Wiener. We don't need any of that. We don't need a bogus Dick Wiener out there. So call and tell us what do you do? Are you a plumber? Are you a doctor? Are you a dentist? Are you an attorney? Are you a judge? Judge Wiener? Wiener's a popular name. I see it a lot, and I always giggle when I see it. It makes people happy. What a great name, Mr. Wiener. How do you not do it? I think it would be like really difficult. What if you were like, so I'm thinking you kind of inherit a really good sense of humor. If your name's Dick Wiener, you have to. But what if you were like just like a big grouch? You didn't like anybody laughing at anything, really, especially you. And you had the name Dick Wiener. Because that would be torture. because everybody's going to laugh at your name. All right, Dicks and Wieners. I'm going to stop with talking about the name Dick Wieners. All right. All right. I apologize for this show, people. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. That's what it's about, right? Having fun. I didn't have a lot. I have a few things I want to talk about. I decided not even to talk about it. Just wanted to talk about nothing today. Just want to have fun because we haven't been around each other for a little while. Here's something I want to tell you. I'm going to be doing a few more videos as we go into probably starting next month. I want to do a few more. There will be some videos that are the podcast videos. So I will do some of the podcast while I'm making a video. But I think I'll do some special videos as well. This is a treat for kind of hanging on while I try to get through this little September, October hump that always just takes so much of my schedule. So we'll do some videos and maybe a guest or two. And we have a couple of surprises coming up. So that's all I wanted to do today. That's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to have some fun. Look, Al Pacino, it's not all about you. Okay, I'm sorry you didn't see any lights. You've been seeing lights your whole life. All right, maybe it's time you look at a little bit of darkness, Al. Save some light for the rest of us. Okay, I've spent my time. I'll see you next week, people. Have fun. Dick Wiener.